Hello again, you're welcome to Debbie Rose online training. Today we'll be learning how to cut and sew a shirt dress with placket. So this is how the shirt dress is going to be. It's a straight dress, and then the placket is in the mid center, and then we have a collar there. So the measurement you'll be using: the shoulder 16 inches, bust circumference 41 inches. So you can see the measurement all the way down, the circumference measurement and then the vertical measurement. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll explain this on the fabric right now. Okay, so now I'll be using a denim fabric. You can use any type, denim or jeans, you can use any type. So you would get your circumference measurement and divide by 4. You divide by 4, and so for the first block we'll be cutting the center piece. Sorry, the first block, that is the front block first. Thank you, the front block. So you'll be getting your vertical measurements from the top down. So from shoulder to bust is 11 inches for this measurement, 11 inches. And remember that I said that you'll be adding ½ inch to your vertical measurement, because that is what you'll be using to sew the shoulders together. So shoulder to bust 11 plus half, that's 11.5. Shoulder to under bust is 14.5. Then you add half, you have 15. Shoulder to waist is 19, you add half, 19.5. Then the waist to hip is 7 inches. When you add half to it, you have 7.5. Now shoulder to length, that's the length of the dress, is 42 inches. So you have 42 here, and then you'll be adding 2 inches seam allowance. So that's what you'll be using to turn the base or the hemline of your shirt dress. So you connect with your ruler like I've done. You connect with your ruler like this. So now we want to get the circumference measurement. So now for the circumference measurement, we'll be dividing our shoulder first. Shoulder here is 16 inches. So you divide 16 by 2, it gives you 8. So you mark 8 inches here. The armhole is 18 inches. So you divide the armhole by 2, you have 9. You mark 9 here. So on that armhole point, on the length, you also get your shoulder measurement there, 8, so that you can have a straight line for your armhole. Like this, you have a straight line. So you take your French curve and then you create a curve at the edge here. So now you take your French curve and then you place it at the armhole, and then you create your armhole curve. So now we'll focus on the bust circumference. The bust circumference is 41 inches. Divide 41 by 4 will give us 10.25. That's 10 1/4. So the seam allowance we'll be using all through is 1.5 inches. Now that will give our dress some ease, because it has no zipper at the back, so we need it to be free a bit so the clients can wear it like that. So you're going to be adding 1.5 inch seam allowance. You'll only be sewing with ½ inch seam allowance, so the ease there is 1 inch. On the under bust, we have 36 inches divided by 4 is 9. So you'll be adding 1.5 inch seam allowance. Then the waist is 39 inches. You divide by 4, that is 9 3/4, 9.75. Okay, then you add 1.5 inch seam allowance. On the hip is 45. So 45 divided by 4 is 11 1/4. That's 11.25. Then you add 1.5 inch seam allowance. Now it's a straight shirt dress, so whatever you have on the hip point, okay, this is 12 3/4, in total with the allowance. That is what you put at the hem line, 12 3/4. So you're going to now connect your point with the ruler like this. Connect like this. You connect like this. You connect it out. So you'll be using your hip curve to get a perfect, bend at the hip region. Now you can see that I didn't even have to use the hip curve because it's almost perfect. So you just do that to give you a perfect curve. So I'll be cutting this out now, then I'll show you what next to do. A straight shirt dress. So whatever you have on the hip point, this is 12 3/4, is what you measure on the hem line, 12 3/4. So you're going to be connecting your point with the ruler like this, like this, connecting like this. So you take your hip curve and you use it to, give a proper bend to your hip region. Can you see like that? So I'll cut this and then show you what next to do. So now I've cut out the front bodice. So I'll be folding the fabric again so we can cut the back bodice. Folding like this, and then you'll be placing your fabric on it, your pattern on it. You're cutting exact shape, the same shape for the back. So now we want to cut our neckline. The neck width for this dress is 7 inches. So 7 inches minus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we're marking 3. Now because the back bodice is shorter, the neck of the back is shorter than the front. So you just remove this and then we cut for the back like this. So the length for the back is 1 inch. So you create your curve at 1 inch, then you cut. Now for the front, the neck length is 4 inches. So you measure 4 down, and then you also measure the width that way. We'll be doing a round neck, a U neck. So you create your curve here like this, or you can use your French curve. If your hand is not perfect, you can use your French curve to get that. Now you cut that out. Like this. So now for the shoulder slant, you measure 1 inch at the edge, 1 inch, and then you connect from the neckline into the armhole for your shoulder slant, and then you'll be cutting this out. Let's cut separately. So now we've cut that out. So for the front bodice, you'll be measuring 6 inches. Okay, let's measure 7 inches downwards for the placket. So you're going to mark 7 inches just for the front alone, and then you just notch a tiny bit there. So you're going to slash this center open to this end of the 7. You'll be slashing like this. Okay, so now I've slashed the placket point at the center, and then you notch it here, just tiny. So you're going to cut out 2 pieces for your placket. This measurement is 7.5 inches by 3.5. Then the second one is 12 inches by 3.5. So I'll be showing you how to